Avarie Howard here in Lincoln following Tuesday media availability. I have a rather lengthy recap for you all today as we heard from a lot of players and a lot of coaches, and it was all the defensive side of the ball. So I'll get right to it with the defensive coordinator with John Butler. He shared exactly what the mentality will be for his group the minute they step on the field in 10 days down in Arrowhead.
We're going to play as aggressive as the officials allow us to play. Honestly, I learned that a couple years ago from Dave Merritt, not from him personally, but Dawson's son Dave is the DB coach for the Chiefs, and I watched how they played our receivers in Buffalo, and they played them very aggressively, and obviously in the playoffs, they let you play. So that was about 5 or 6 years ago, and since then I've always believed in playing them aggressively, but I think you got to play to the standard of what the officiating is allowing, and our guys have been very aggressive down the field. You know, the thing we just have to be sure of is that, you know, you're not being aggressive down the field when the ball's in the air. I think that's something you can work on, that we will continue to work on. But, you know, when you're an attack-oriented defense, everything you're doing is with that mindset and mentality.
Next, we heard from outside linebackers coach Phil Simpson, who shared the progress he's seen in the pass rush, but what he truly hopes the players in his room are learning by playing here at the University of Nebraska.
A percentage of what they're here for, right? You got to be a complete ball player. You know, you got to earn to be able to rush the pass on third downs. You got to stop the run as well. You got to be able to defeat pullers and snipers coming back. So it's an all-around game. Of course, we work pass rush ability, but it's also just being a complete player.
We've also heard plenty of metaphors this fall camp, whether it be iron sharpens iron or water the bamboo. Today, Coach Simpson added to that list.
We always preach be water. You know, be water, learn to be poised, get shake, be rattled, but be water and be steady. Be water. I come in the room one day and I brought a Coca-Cola bottle and I brought a bottle of water and I shook both of them and popped them open and told them be water. Right, steadfast.
Next, we hear from the defensive line coach Terry Braden, who shared his excitement to be back in Kansas City for his season opener with Nebraska, back in a place that first gave him his first big opportunity.
Beautiful stadium. I've been getting calls from George Kalafis, guys of that nature, talking about coming to the game, guys that I coach. But it's just same, one day at a time, focus on the small things. But it's a beautiful stadium. You know, it's history there. I was watching the Kingdom last night with my wife. Special about it, from Emmett Thomas, being in that building, all those people that gave me my opportunity. Coach Root giving me my opportunity and going back my first ever college game, running my own room. I think it's all about opportunity. That's why the guys in the room, right? Next man up, opportunity, right? And I think that's what's so special. My wife, who was there for 8 years, you know, so letting everybody see the guys that, you know, coming to play in Arrowhead. Somebody, I asked the question there in the room, how many guys actually played on the NFL field, you know? And a couple of them played in high school, but none of them played in college. So it's a special moment. And I think it's very, very special for me going back because I worked all those years, 8 years, sleeping in the office sometimes, being there, you know, long, long nights, taking some losses, AFC losses there, you know, D4 lined up offside, love you D4, but just things that I've been through, you know, in that stadium, you know.
Coach Braden moved on from that topic pretty quickly as he shared he's focused on the day-to-day process of his room and also the importance of the fundamentals.
Like I said when I first came here, you know, can't get bored with the fundamentals. And we staying consistent with the fundamentals. And that's going to carry us over to the first game. And I think it's going to be a great time with shocking effort. I really believe a guy has one move. You got a go-to move, counter, and the power. But we're really focusing on one move. What's your move? You know, have a plan, get to the quarterback. But the main thing is about finishing.
And over the weekend, we heard how proud this team and this staff is of Elijah Judy being the first in his family to graduate from college. His position coach, Coach Braden, echoed the same message.
In a degree. Like, that's why I love about college. Like, my brother was murdered at 17 years old before I was born, 30 feet from my house. So I always told my mom I wanted to get a degree. That paper nobody can take from you. I don't care. Football is going to last a couple years. But that degree is so special. And I talk about it in my room. Right? Being a student athlete, student first. Get your degree. Get that degree, and then you can chase football as much as you can. But getting that degree was so special, and seeing a Judy, I actually got the picture printed, hung it in my office because that's what it's about.
Moving on to the players we heard from today, starting with Kiona Davis, he shared his personal goals that he has this season, but also how those goals align with what the room wants this season.
Yeah, I'd like to reach double-digit sacks. That's like the main goal for everybody, actually, double-digit sacks. Double-digit tackles, just to be very dominant, very physical.
Davis also shared how much he's learned and how much he values the coaching he's received so far from Coach Braden.
Energy, energy is contagious. He says it every day, any chance he gets, because it's true. If you got one person feeling down, it's just gonna affect the whole group. So we do our best to have great energy, even though we don't feel our best, to have a great practice. And he's always talking about physicality, effort, relentless effort, run to the ball, even though you don't feel like it, because doing that now in practice is going to get you ready for the game.
On a similar note, we then heard from Jordan Ochoa, who also had very similar things to say about his position coach, Phil Simpson.
Amazing. He's taught me a lot, not just football, but like life lessons too. One thing we preach is mudita, is bringing your guys with you, and we can't leave nobody behind. You may be the weakest link. You may be, one of those guys that we see that could benefit us. We bring everybody with us and keep everybody upheld to the same standard.
And as I mentioned, that metaphor we learned from Coach Simpson earlier, Jordan Ochoa shared with us what it means to him and the guys in his room.
Water is being smooth. Smooth is fast is something I've heard my whole life. Smooth is fast. I feel like when Coach Simp preaches that on us, it just helps us get our mind focused back on what's at hand.
Next, we hear from the Southern Illinois transfer Jir Khan, who shared the mentality he brings every single day with a chip on his shoulder, knowing he came from the FCS level, now ready to prove himself at the Big Ten level.
Going full speed every play, understanding my assignment, getting the pre-snap reads, understanding that at the end of the day it's still football, still out there to have fun, play hard, and God gave us a gift, so we're going to utilize it to our best ability. Got to be out there, especially, like you said, as a smaller guy. You can't play with any fear. Like Coach Mo always says, you're going to have, this game shows who you are. There's no hiding in this game. So there's going to be plays out there. If you're scared, we're going to be able to tell that you're scared. So you can't play with any fear in you, or it's going to be exposed. For sure.
We've heard one same message from every new player that has entered this program. It is the facilities. Jir Khan doesn't take them for granted, and he credits them for the way he's been able to improve and grow as he heads into his first season here at Nebraska.
Recovery. The cold tub is amazing. I've never seen anything like that before. The sauna being right there, and really that when I walked in was amazing. Then the field was great. Just getting out there, seeing the indoor, because that's all I ever wanted when I was at SIU, another place to work out, because when I was at SIU, I was working out in the recreation center.
Next, we heard from Deson Mcola. Although he's new to this program, he realizes he's a veteran in his room. Therefore, he feels a responsibility to
make sure that we're held to that standard of, this might not be a position room of 15, 20 guys, but, the guys in here, we're held to the standard of we all playing like starters.
Similar to the rest of the guys we've heard from today, Deson Mcola also had a lot to say about the relationship he has with Coach Simpson and how much he values having him as his position coach.
Coach Simpson, I've said this a bunch of times, he's the perfect coach I needed from my last year, just believing in me and really letting me go out there and play in my game. And he's really a relationship type of guy, so, I couldn't ask for a better coach going into my last season. It's been great.
Next, we heard from Marquez Trent, who shares why playing here at Nebraska is such a full circle moment for him.
First real career start was technically here. Kind of found my way on the football field that day. Experience, obviously it was an upset for us now, but on the opposite end, it was, one of those big moments for us. So I definitely feel that way. I feel the love here in Memorial Stadium. To be on the opposite end of it now it's a beautiful thing. I feel like these fans and this culture here, it's lovely to play with.
And asked what he likes about his room here at Nebraska, he had nothing but positive things.
I love our room. I feel like we have a lot of talent at each level, just as far as young guys, seniors, juniors, and sophomores. I've never seen a place where I feel like we can play a freshman and they'd be great. Just from top to bottom, I feel like Javen has been one of the leaders, and he showed me different things that I need to work on. As I played a long time, he played a long time, and we kind of ping-pong different things. But he's been a tremendous leader. He's been doing great out there in fall camp. I feel like Vincent Schaefer he's a talent. I'm sure y'all know that. But he's coming every day and attacking every day, and I think he's shown strides throughout the fall camp. And then you just got some young guys that just ball, and I feel like Dawson is going to be really great. I feel like C. Jones is great. I feel like Bauer is great. My man Wack, he's going to be great too as well. On special teams, they go out there and dominate every period. Coach Rob does a really good job of just coaching from the top and the bottom, making sure everybody understands what we got to do from the ones, from the twos, from the threes. And I'm confident if we need anybody to play from the threes or the fours, they'll be able to get the job done. So that's just a testament to the way we prepare and the way Coach Rob handled his room.